Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. And welcome to another episode of the Just Seen podcast. Um, today is going to be one on a very touchy subject within our community that I feel is a very touchy subject in our community. And that subject is passivism. I feel strongly about passivism in many ways because I feel like passivism has been given a good pass, and it's really a bad thing, and it fucks our community up, bro. It fucks our community up because not only is passivism like not a good thing, it's like it would be a good thing if we were utilizing it in the right dynamic. You feel what I'm saying? If we were able to be passive towards the necessary, how can I say this? It will be a positive situation if we were passive in the right dynamic, or towards the right things, or in the right vein of our own existence. But we're not. We're completely passive to the beings, to the situations and the circumstances of this reality that we're not supposed to be passive to. You feel what I'm saying? And in that passivism, we are creating a very, very slippery slope and a fucked up loop of continual oppression, continual just denigration of ourselves. You feel me? I stand on masculinity and I talk about masculinity a lot, so this kind of ties into it, but I don't want this to be seen as a soul-frail conversation, because it's really not. This is really just circumstance based off of the collectivity of our people. You feel what I'm saying? Pessimism is, in a sense, our gift and our curse. You feel me? Passivism is made easy simply because we naturally have good hearts and good souls, but there's a fine line in between us remaining passive and, becoming cowards, and so much shit has justified it. So much shit has allowed that passivism to be the focal point of us. Like, we have become the face of passivism. You feel what I mean? Which now, you feel me? It kind of disrespects our ancestors. It disrespects a lot of the shit that we've gone through, because we take the passive route for everything. And that passivism trickles down into, just the societal structure of our community. You feel me? Of our existence. And I think it's just something that needs to be addressed, like, wholly, because if we're not willing to address it, we're not going to be willing to change it either. And whether we were willing to admit it or not, or whether we're willing to push ourselves to that envelope and take ourselves to the next level, that is where, the major problems come in. But yeah, like I said, I don't, as always, I don't want to just go ahead and dive into it, but I just want to let y'all know where I'm going with this. You've been tuning in for a while, so, I kind of just say what I feel I should be saying at that particular time. So, as far as the passivism goes, yes, there will be a lot of components touched on that lead to it. But I just want to give that overview real quick. Before I dive into it, though, as always, be sure to follow me on my social media platforms. On Instagram, you can follow me at _just_seen_. You can follow me at Just Scenes merch. You can follow me at the Just Seen podcast, the main one. You can also follow me at the Hitting the Raw program if you're looking to transition into the plant-based lifestyle. Also, be sure to check out my books, So Frail, A Reality to Black Male Masculinity, So Frail 2, Toxic Femininity, and Hitting the Raw, Living the Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. All of the links to everything that I just said is in the description of your podcast, so you can check it out whenever you're ready. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and then when I come back, we're going to dive straight into passivism. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Thank you for your patience and welcome back. I'm gonna dive straight into it. Before I get in, I need to. The reason why it's subtitled "A Misnomer for Peaceful" is because I've watched people, I've had conversations with people, try to convince me, and bring me to a point of accepting that passivism is peace. Passivism means that a person is peaceful. To be pacifist people, fuck no. That shit ain't got shit to do with each other. Pacifism and peace are not the same thing. So with that, as always, like when I'm explaining something, I got to define why I feel the way that I feel about a certain topic. So I understand why people can feel that pacifism is peace. For me, I can't see it as that. You feel me? Like I always, I try to always end with, the words peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. And the reason why that affirmation came up for me is because, I was at a time in my life where I realized I needed to take more power over myself, more power over my circumstance, more power over my, my situation in life. You feel me? So the first thing that, I had to do was bring peace to myself. So when I affirm peace in my life, I define peace as the control of chaos. You feel what I'm saying? I define peace as the control of chaos. And I personally feel like that's how peace is defined. You feel me? When you speak peace, it is not the absence of chaos. It is not the elimination of it. It's not that chaos is suddenly gone. No, peace is the control of the chaos. Passivism is not controlling chaos. Passivism is letting chaos run loose on you. I'm gonna have the higher tolerance to just let the chaos do whatever it's gonna do. That's passivism. That's how I feel, and that's what I stand on. So when people try to use, that's why words are very powerful, because we get caught up in using synonyms so much, and then we get caught up in making shit synonymous that really is not synonymous. And when we use words that are not truly defined that way, we start to make the two run concurrent, and they're not. You feel me? So now we're out here saying passivism is peaceful. We're out here having peaceful protests under the guise that we're being we're having peaceful protests, not realizing that we're being passive. Now granted, I'm not, I'm not invoking that spirit and not telling, motherfuckers to wild the fuck out. But peace is the control of chaos. You feel me? Peace is the control of chaos. That's one of our, whatever you serve, given rights to do in this world. To maintain peace for ourselves. To maintain peace, to defend ourselves, to be able to control the chaos that is around us. We're supposed to have that power to do so. Why? Because to control the chaos, like the chaos that enters our lives, is only circumstances that we have the power to control. Like, really think about that. When your life goes to shit, when your life goes whatever way it's going to go, you have the power, because the very things that are causing this are the things that you allowed in. So you have the power to grant them access. Now you have the power to banish them. You feel me? You're supposed to. So that's where the understanding of peace comes from. You feel me? And we blur the lines. We say it so redundantly. Like we've practiced passivism so much and made it synonymous to peace that when we say no justice, no peace, it's like, there's no peace. But then we look at riots. Like I think we subconsciously know that peace is truly the control of chaos. Because when that phrase first started, no justice, no peace, when we ain't get justice, we looted and rioted and we went ham. We fucked a lot of shit up, but we fucked up our shit. So we understand the concept. Peace is the control of chaos, and we ain't getting no justice, no peace. So we got to be chaotic, but we're in the wrong vein for that shit. You feel what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying when it comes to passivism and shit, because it's like we'll be passive in the wrong light. You feel me? We'll be passive in the wrong light. You feel me? The very motherfuckers that are inflicting our pains, we don't damage their shit. We tear up our own shit. You feel me? We unleash the chaos on our own shit, but we'll be passive on theirs. Like for them, they can get the pass. They can get the rationale of, you feel me? They can get the rationale of, I'm not gonna respond to you the way I respond to myself. And by self, I do mean like, your external reflection. Those who look like you, those who think like you, your community, your culture, your niche. It's like we don't respond to the very inflictors of the trauma to us the way we will with our own. You feel me? Which is backwards. We're passive with them, but we take the no peace out on our own. Shit don't make no sense. You feel me? But the passivism is, it's a joke, bruh. Like, passivism is a whole joke. Because I feel like the passive nature and the passive mentality, because when I look at these leaders and shit, they're pacifiers, but when I look at the leaders and I look at how they quiet people, they invoke the passivism. Like when it comes to passivism, it's like, although they're trying to define it as peace, like how the fuck can you allow an oppressor to tell you how you should deal with your oppression? You feel me? Oh no, yes. We, the oppressor, are fucking your shit up. We're killing your babies, we're killing everybody. But listen, hear me out. You need to respond passively and peacefully. Yes, we're in a rage. Yes, we're chaotic. We fucking your shit up. But I need you to respond to us peacefully because you're the bigger person. You're the stronger one. You're the one who can let the world see just how much you take on a regular basis and how we gonna continue to fuck y'all up. We're gonna continue to do the dumb shit to you. We're gonna continue to damage your entire existence. But you don't respond to us how we are responding to you. You respond in a way that lets the world see. No, the world don't see shit. The world sees that us accepting this is, what, nigga, they letting it happen. That's them. I'm not, like, you feel me? This is an abusive relationship. We as a culture passively are in an abusive relationship with oppression. That's crazy as fuck. Like, you feel me? That's why it's hard to get away from, because we're in an abusive relationship with oppression and we won't fight back. We won't hit that bitch back. You feel me? We won't. But we'll talk around it. We'll say, if I'm good, and like, this entire shit is just an abusive relationship like a motherfucker. Like, really think about it. Like, if you look at the shit that we say, oh, I'm gonna pray for this being, oh, they're just angry or they're just jealous of us because this, whatever the case may be, we feel that they're causing this shit, they're doing it, and we ain't responding. Now, again, this ain't me telling you to go wild the fuck out on them for wilding out on you. I'm just saying, hypothetically, why not? You dig what I'm saying? Why the fuck not? Why is it that we can practice this passivism? And again, I'm saying it because it's not peace. This shit ain't peace, bro. This shit is not peace. This shit is passivism. Because peace is the control of chaos. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I give a perfect example, right? A kid getting bullied in school will continue to get bullied in school until you fuck the bully up. And this is personal experience. I was bullied in kindergarten. You feel me? That was the last time I was bullied. But I was bullied in kindergarten by this kid. And every day, like, because we didn't have book bags. We didn't really do shit in kindergarten but draw circles and shapes. But anyway, you feel me? So they'll give us these little grocery bags and put our work in there. So as we walk home, he would snatch my bag off my back. You feel me? Me, at this point, I'm being passive. You feel me? But I'm thinking I'm being a peaceful person. I'm being passive to the motherfucker. I'm like, dude, stop, leave me alone. Nope. He don't give a fuck. All right, bro. Next day, he still snatched my shit off. All right, man, come on. Like, leave me alone. I'm not bothering you. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop. No, I'm not going to stop. All right, cool. Next day, it was a Friday. I never forget this day. Because I had been telling him to leave me the fuck alone. Granted, I'm 5, so I probably didn't say fuck. But I've been telling him to leave me alone, stop messing with me, right? So today he snatched the bag at the wrong time because it was already a bad day. Like, you feel me? That's when the peace came out, because I controlled the chaos, because I told you to stop fucking with me. You feel me? I told you to stop fucking with me. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? So the situation went the way that it went. And then, it's just like, all right, I mean, he ain't fuck with me no more. Let's just say that. I don't want to go into detail with it, but you feel me? Because this is in the past, I was a kid, but he ain't fuck with me no more. And then even after that, he never touched my bag again. You feel me? He never looked at me crazy. He never said anything stupid to me. You feel what I'm saying? I controlled that chaos. That was chaos in my life, and I made an option to control it. You feel me? And that's what peace is. The control of that shit. But had I continued on the passive side, I would have continued to get bullied. You feel me? I would have continued to get bullied. And that's what the fuck is happening. So we're expressing this shit as a misnomer for peace. Passivism is a misnomer for peaceful. And it's an illusion to believe that being passive is gonna work. Like, you feel what I'm saying? And I think this is just my own personal perspective, just from my own understanding of the shit. Some people don't agree because they feel like I don't really understand it the way that I understand it, solely because I'm not affiliated with it. But I feel like it's our predominant religious belief. Because granted, I'm not going to say that, I don't want to say religious belief as a whole, because everybody still follows different systems. But culturally, the essence of our people, we follow the majority of us follow a certain system. And then the system teaches us to turn the cheek to our enemy. You feel me? It teaches you to turn your cheek to your enemy, which is bullshit to me. You feel me? And the reason why I feel like it's bullshit, however people decide to feel about it, like the reason why I feel it's bullshit and what makes it bullshit for me is because within that same context, there's also an expression that you spare the rod, you spoil the child. You feel me? That individual expression makes me question the integrity of this entire shit. Because, you feel me, I am to forgive my enemy, but I can use a rod on my child. For me, that's a bit of delusion, because my child is just a younger version of myself. I'm going to say it like this, but not in a disrespectful way towards the child. My child is a younger, ignorant version of myself. They don't know the world. You feel me? They're supposed to make mistakes. They're supposed to do these things that they're along the line, but I'm supposed to correct them with the rod of correction. You feel me? Some people try to tell me or run the gamut about, it's not a physical rod. It's like, it's metaphorical, but we're using a physical rod on our kids, whether that be an actual rod, a belt, drop, cord, extension cord, shoe, fist, whatever the case may be. We're correcting them with a physical rod. So fuck the facade about, you're trying to justify your way out of it, but we're giving the enemy a whole nother cheek. We've given the enemy so many cheeks that they're kicking our ass now. That's the cheek they on. You feel me? But how does that even compute to make sense? Like, really, really follow me on that shit. My enemy. Like, see, the thing about it is people think that's why we need to understand these words a lot better, because enemy is not just the motherfucker who dislikes you. An enemy is somebody who is poised for the opposition of your existence. And we're supposed to give that motherfucker the second cheek to kiss. Or whatever it is, I'm going to give him the second cheek. Give him the second cheek to hit. They shouldn't have gotten the first. But yet, we don't have the same passive patience with our kids. You feel me? Like, take a second and really sit back and think about that. The passive patience we have with an enemy, we do not grant our very children. And we wonder why self-hatred is so powerful. You feel me? Case in point, like, look, peep this shit. The little circumstance where the lady just whooped her kid at school or whatnot. Yeah, a lot of us have had situations where our parents showed up and showed the fuck out. But we also didn't have smartphones to record the shit. They set her up. She's dumb and fell for the shit. They called her and shit. And, you turned up on your kid. You feel me? But you would never turn up on an enemy that doesn't look like you. Now, we'll turn up like that on our children. We'll turn up like that on, our significant others. within our household. You feel me? But outside in the motherfucking world, and I mean within our household, and by household I mean cultural perspective, within our communities too, we respond to each other from, I'm going to give you the rod to correct you. But yet our enemies get the passivism. Our enemies get the passes. They get the second, third, fourth, and fifth cheek to kiss and all of that other shit to hit. Turn the other cheek. I'm going to turn my other cheek. I don't know why I keep saying kiss the cheek. Something in there is somebody kissed somebody on the cheek, and that's probably why I'm thinking about it. Oh yeah, when he got betrayed. But anyway, you feel me? They say, yo, you give them the second cheek. Your enemies give them the, like, that's, you know how stupid that is? Like, that's stupid. I don't give a fuck, like who ordained the shit. Like, that shit don't make no sense, because that promotes oppression. Because your oppressor is your enemy. Therefore, your enemy is who you're in opposition to. And I gotta give that motherfucker the pass. You feel me? I gotta turn my cheek to that motherfucker. Like, do it again. I know you're gonna try to kill me. Your first attempt didn't work, so do it again. But now, my child, yo, you made a mistake. You didn't know how to do this. I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. I'm gonna whoop you. Because you don't, like, that energy needs to change. You feel what I'm saying? And that's one of the things of why I feel like, as a coach, and I can go on running through the gamut of the shit that makes the passivism happen for us. But I feel like those two descriptions suffice, because that is a cultural acceptance. You feel me? You're supposed to turn the other cheek. You're supposed to love thy neighbor. You feel me? But you spare the rod, you spoil the child. You're supposed to love motherfuckers that are against you and outside of your house before you love what's in yours. That's a tangent, but that promotes the passivism in your own oppression. You feel me? And we think it's peaceful. That's not peaceful. I ain't controlling none of that chaos. That chaos is controlling me. You dig what I'm saying? And when that chaos controls me, it's like it turns that passivism, like we try to make it seem like it's good. You feel me? Sometimes, I have a snapback because you're passive aggressive. Like, that's real bitch made. Like, you don't even have the guts and the gall to say the shit that you really want to say, so you'll throw a subliminal. You feel what I mean? But those are things that, because, I just want to maintain the peace. Nah, you want to maintain the being passive. Fuck that. You want to maintain the peace, you control the chaos. You keep the chaos out your circle. You feel what I'm saying? You keep the chaos out your circle. You keep the chaos from infusing within your mentality, within your mind. You feel me? So that's why I tell people, like, I don't give a fuck about this passive shit, because the shit that you're talking about is peaceful ain't peaceful, it's passive. And when it comes to being passive, there is a fine line between passivism makes a fine line between what we deem as peaceful and what we deem as cowardice. You feel me? That's why I'm like, a lot of the shit that we talk about, the leaders, like, we ain't got no leaders, bro. We ain't got no leaders. We just got niggas in the front, got perms and shit and all this other goofy shit. That shit's crazy as fuck. Because when they come around, they teach you to be more passive. They always ask that question. What would Jesus do? You dig what I mean? What would Jesus do? And I hate that sentiment. Because if you don't understand the entire situation and the dynamic of what this man represented, whether you would believe he's real or not, I ain't here today. I ain't here for debating that. But the principle, the principle gives his character credence in the world. You feel what I'm saying? So when everybody consistently talks about, oh, he fed this person, he turned water to wine, and so when they ask what would he do, and they ask you that question in a time of adversity, when it's time for you to control your peace. First off, he actually controlled peace. Go fucking figure. You feel what I'm saying? In a turbulent storm, what did he say? Peace, be still. Oh, nobody wants to understand that and unfold that shit, because he controlled the chaos. By saying peace, that's the control of chaos. Catch that shit, bro. If we're going to use it, we need to use it all the way. So he said, peace, be still. Stop the motherfucking storm. Did he not? You feel what I'm saying? Again, control of the chaos. So then When you ask, yo, what would he do? He's going to control the chaos. More so, they're like, yo, how would he respond? He wouldn't respond. Yes, he would. He would respond on some ignorant shit. He was responding on some wild shit. But see, people don't want to give him that. They don't want to give him that. They want to give him they want to see him for the bitch made person that he was. And by bitch made, I don't mean disrespectful bitch made. I mean bitch made in the sense that he could have done more than what he did, but he didn't. You feel me? Some people try to, and they say, oh, that's because he was powerful. No, it's because he was passive. Let's call it for what it is. He knew that he had to be passive for this. So however you want to play that situation, but that's the story that's used to control the narrative. Because if you're now trying to be Christ-like or whatever case may be, I'm going to put a quick tangent real quick before I get back. To be Christ-like is to be in a dissension of a certain level of consciousness in which you're operating devoid of earthly attachment. But I'm not going to go heavy into that because I'll save that for my chakra episode that'll be coming soon. But anyway, they say, okay, be Christ-like, act like you're created in the image of this being or whatnot. But yet they're going to give you all of the moments when he got his ass whooped. They're going to give you the moments when he did some very fucked up shit. He just let shit happen to him. That's a reason for that, because I want you to be in the image of this being. You know, I'm your enemy, so I'm going to give you what template I want for you to respond to your oppression. Think about that. How did we get this information? Slavery. We were slaves when we were introduced to this shit. So you can miss me, you can tell me all day long, well, that happened to be the blessing in disguise, because fuck that. You're delusional and you're giving your enemy the pass. Once again, you're giving the enemy the pass and the green light to oppress you still. You smell what I'm saying? So the thing that they give you is, this is the image of Christ that we want you to see. But in the same very image, they don't show you, they don't really talk about how the motherfucker went in the temple with a whip and started flipping tables over. You feel me? Why isn't that pushed? It's heavy. And then have you seen the movies where they depicted him? And he ain't go in the way you knew he went in. Like, nigga, you ain't gonna go in with a whip and start flipping tables and whipping motherfuckers' ass and shit. And it looked that peaceful. It looked that calm. So Jesus got frustrated, but he still didn't. No. That's not what happened. He went in there fucking shit up. Let's call it for what it is. He went in there fucking shit up. But that's not the part about it, because they want you to maintain that passivism. They want to talk about when he just got beat the fuck up. Dude, the whole city carried his cross and everything. He got beat the fuck up. But they don't want to tell you about when he was beating motherfuckers up. Yeah, he beat motherfuckers up. It's the reality of it. You feel what I'm saying? But see, that's where it creates that fine line between cowardice, because you don't follow. You don't, like, everybody wants to be an image, but you're not following the motherfucker who was beating motherfuckers up for oppression. The motherfucker who was beating people up for violating against the word and the code that was set, that he said was set. You feel me? Because they was in there gambling in the temples and all that shit. Like, he just whooped their ass for gambling. You feel me? But in a time in which he was physically oppressed and abused and damaged and shit, they give you that image for a reason. It's called the Council in Nicaea, but I'm going to keep going here. So that whole bigger person shit is a facade, though. You feel what I'm saying? Because there's a fine line, a very, very fine line between pacifism and cowardice. And it's bullshit to know that, you know, you can have the confidence to respond to a kid, to respond to a baby, to respond to a child, the way you're supposed to respond to a motherfucking enemy. But yet that enemy gets a cheek, that enemy gets a pass. You get to turn, like, that shit frustrates me to no end. Because here I have a child that I'm supposed to be molding, I'm supposed to be grooming, I'm supposed to be instilling life into, and I'm damaging him for the future. All right. Look. The markets are not a difficult place to understand. All right. You just have to know what you're looking at. And there's 5 things that you need to see before you can make any market entry. First, you need a pocket, so you can know which direction the market is going in. Second, you need a pullback, so you can get the better price. Third, you need a battlefield, so you can see when that market movement is slowing down. Fourth, you need the upper hand, so you can see when the market reactivates. And last, you need a final push, so you can see the exact moment when it's time to go with the direction you are already moving in. Okay, of course, there's so much more that has to go into that, and it's not as cut and dry as that. But those are things that I teach in my Mastering the Market course. So if you would like to learn more, please visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today. Although it is directed and specialized for Forex, all of the skills, I crafted them to be transferable to any market that you're looking at. So again, visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today if you are truly looking to master the market. Oh yeah, and don't forget, while I still got you, you can use promo code QUARANTINE to save over 90% off of the enrollment of the full price of the course. That is QUARANTINE, QUARNTEEN. I'm fucking up their mentality because now I'm teaching, oh, pain is love, and I'm whooping their ass. But a very enemy can fuck me over. And I just, you know what? I'm just not gonna say nothing. They can kill our kids in the streets. You feel me? And we not saying nothing. Like, you feel me? It makes no sense. Like, and that's a part of this passivism, and then the fucked up peace. Because we know how to exhibit peace, and we know how to maintain peace when it comes to our own. You feel me? You know, we can one of our peoples can die. We can be slain in the streets. You feel what I'm saying? Right now. And if we're slain in the streets, our get back is that same night. You feel what I'm saying? It's the same night. Don't nobody bat an eye. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody is even in that space to feel otherwise. But yet we let titles, we let all of this other crazy shit keep us from loving our people, from making sure our people are better suited. You feel me? To be protected. You dig what I'm saying? So I look at it like that comes from the passivism. You feel me? That comes from a passivism. We have been taught how to respond. we have been taught like how to respond to our oppression. Like the bully told us how to take our bullying. Like it told us how to take our ass whoopings. Like, yo, be the bigger person. No, fuck that. I'm not gonna be the bigger person. I'm gonna show you why you should not assume that you should fuck with me. You feel me? Because that passivism, that shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. Like a whole bully can kick your whole teeth in and you don't give a fuck. You feel me? You won't say shit to him. You won't come off sideways. You know what I mean? But it's heartbreaking, yo. I can't even lie. It's heartbreaking to know that passivism has been created and instilled within us so much that we come up with shit like justice or else. Like, or else what? Like you when you make a threat, you have to have something to back it. You have to have something to back it. You know, our backing is typically a supernatural thing. Like, you feel me? Our like, and we got to stop doing that shit. We were given this supernatural. We were given this supernatural connection by the very motherfuckers who are invoking this shit within us, and we're asking the supernatural system to stop what the fuck it ordained. Like, how does that even make sense, bro? Like, think about that shit. How does that make sense? You feel me? Because then now you have to look at, yeah, I get, no weapon forged against us to prosper, but who forged the weapon? Who forged the weapon to only do what it allows you, like it forged the destroyer to work against you, but it can only do what it allows it to do. So it's like, at some point we have to realize that our own oppression and our own passivism and our own shit that we dealing with is fucking us up in the long run, because what's it doing to us? You dig what I'm saying? What's it really doing to us? That's the biggest issue. That's the quandary. That's the battle that we facing. You feel what I'm saying? That's the battle that we facing, and we're losing it. We are losing it, and it's causing us to It's causing us to lose sight of our reality, yo. And that's what makes this shit sad. That's what makes this shit depressing. Because rather than unplugging from a system, rather than doing for self, rather than coming to terms with the reality that, yo, we really need to hang on to our connection better with reality. We need to make this change. We rather formulate a dependent out, begging and pleading, yo, stop doing this to me. Make them stop. Make them stop. Like, it's that simple. You feel what I'm saying? If you study the history of the very motherfuckers who are oppressing you, you feel me? They have these things called peace treaties. You dig what I'm saying? They have these things called peace treaties. And peace treaties are simply when enough bloodshed has happened, we decide, you know what? We don't want to stop it. We don't want to do anything. Like, this is a one-sided thing. We're having plea treaties. We're pleading. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop whooping my ass. Stop killing my children. Stop, fucking me over. Stop doing this shit to me because I'm not doing anything to you. That's why they're doing it to you. To us. And we're thinking we're being peaceful. Hold your peace and let whoever fight your battles. Like, why are some of the most heavily quoted shit that we speak always about doing bitch made shit? Why are we never quoting the shit about it being a time to kill? You feel me? There's verses that say there's a season for everything. You feel me? Why don't we quote those? You feel me? Why don't we quote the things that give us our credence and our power that says you are gods? You feel me? You created the image. If you're creating the image of something, you should be able to reflect this power. So when this being has been wronged, what does he do? He goes sack shit down. But then again, they teach you, like, do you think this is strategically planned? Because now they teach you shit like, well, that's because that was the older testament. He's not the same now. But I thought it says he's the same now, today, and forever. Same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Forever. Like that was the whole thing. Like, that's what was expressed to me that he is, So it's like, at some point, you gotta accept that I ain't gonna say this is supposed to be happening to us, because I don't believe that. I don't believe that 100%. But when you accept that shit and internalize it, you just be passive. I'm just gonna wait until the time comes. You feel me? Like, yo, shit like that is what has really made us cowards. This passivism is a front. You feel me? This passivism is a front. This whole conceptualization of, like, just walking away, not worrying too much about what people are going to say, not worrying about, like, that shit is a problem, because these beings are inflicting serious shit on us as a whole, and there's no repercussion. So it's like, if I don't, like, that's the thing about controlling chaos. That's the thing about being peaceful. If I know that, if I come into your shit with this chaos, what's going to happen to me? Like, you're not going to get a pass for that shit. You're not coming into my space. You're not coming into my peace and thinking you're just going to bring this turmoil and think your shit ain't going to be redirected. You feel me? We need to be on that type time. You feel me? Because like I said, and that's why I'm using these two examples so heavily when I talk about the children and the enemy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, our kids can come in excited about the day, and they're loud. They're talking loud because they just have that energy. We tell them, yo, you're talking too much, though. Tone it down. Well, we say shit like, you're at a 10, bring it back down to a 3. Your enemy can come at you at a 10 and you'll give them to a 20. Does that shit make sense? Nope. When your child is angry with you, because you've done some stupid shit to them. You've done some very fucked up shit to them. You'll tell them to fix their face. You'll straighten up your attitude. But your enemy come at that shit. I know you're probably having a bad day. You know what? I'm going to pray for you. Fuck that. Keep that same energy. You better fix your face, you grown motherfucker. But see, if I'm going to give my child the power, I'm going to give my child and elevate my child to a place that, you know what, you need to be able to do shit that I'm allowing adults to get the pass for. Children see that shit. Children see that shit. Children see that shit. Your child lied to you. You feel me? You whoop them. You beat the hell out of them. You do whatever you do. An adult lies to you and you forgive them. You feel me? We damn sure not teaching to love ourselves. We're damn sure not teaching to, to be peaceful in the right dynamic. We're teaching our own personal demise and destruction. We look at our babies and shit the wrong way. And our babies are looking at us the right way. They see, oh, you a bitch for this. Like, you'll let this happen. But this is what you'll do to me. Because I'm defenseless. I'm your child. I can't fuck with you. I can't fight you back. I'm not supposed to fight you back. You feel me? How many times have, like peep this shit, right? How many times have we told our enemies, yo, you look like you want to hit me? Then ask yourself, how many times have we said that to our children? If you've never said it to your children, think about how many times you may have heard it. Oh, you look like you want to hit me. I wish you would. How many times have we said that shit to an enemy? We ain't have to say, because we already gave him the second cheek. We already put that passivism out there. We already gave him the pass. Yo, you get to do it again. You don't have to fix your face. You know what? You look like you want to hit me. And you're going to do it. I'm going to let you. You feel me? Now, granted, it does seem like, and it's a lot of sarcasm in here. Because there are select few of us who ain't going to let you get that pass. You feel what I'm saying? But as a collective, it's few and far in between. You feel me? It's few and far in between. Like, because it's like, well, I got so much to lose. I got this. But, I'd rather lose physical material shit than lose a connection with my child. You feel me? But that sets the tone. Like, you feel me? How can we just be this? Like, how can we not be passive with our children and have the patience and the peace with them? But yet, the very motherfucker we know is our defined enemy, we have been told this nigga don't fuck with us. And we still like, yo, I'm just gonna wait for this to happen. Like, no, we've become cowards, yo. We become cowards, and we've allowed our bullies to tell us how to get beat the fuck up. You feel me? Nah, today you're getting put in a trash can. Okay. Is it gonna be a swirly? Are you gonna put something in the? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, tomorrow you're getting put in the toilet. You feel me? Feel me? I've never met a motherfucker who fought the bully back who kept getting bullied. I've never met it before. You feel what I'm saying? But, this creates that mentality of now I'm going to go bully a weaker vessel. See, that's how passivism and shit works. That's how that passive shit works. You feel me? You create the cowardice. Then rather than the motherfucker responding to the enemy, I'm going to turn my cheek and then I'm going to go spare the rod and spoil. Like, I'm going to go to the person lesser than me. I'm going to go to the being lesser than me, who's not on the level that I'm on. And I'm going to fuck them up. You dig what I'm saying? I'm going to fuck them up. And that is a lot of times what we're doing. You dig what I'm saying? That is a lot of times what we're doing, what we have done, or what we will continue to do until we wake up. This passive shit is corny. And then when you have the motherfucker who's not passive, who's willing to pop off and do some shit because, yo, you're my real enemy for real. Like, I define you as my enemy. I don't define my children. I don't define my people. I don't define what looks like me as my enemy. I define what's in opposition to me as my enemy. You feel what I'm saying? When those people, say, oh, you're crazy. Something's wrong with you. You're not normal. You're woke. Nah, it's just that a motherfucker ain't passive. In the right, like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what like I said, I just despise it. Like, so many people keep saying peaceful. I'm just peaceful. No, you're passive and you're a coward, yo. Like, peace is the elimination of chaos. Peace, when you are really peaceful, motherfuckers will think twice about fucking with you. I seen, what's the quote? It said, it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war. You feel me? What did Bruce Lee say? He said, if I told you I'm good, you would think that I'm boasting. But if I told you that I'm not good, then I'm lying. You feel what I'm saying? That is a powerful sentiment regarding in relation to, being peaceful. You feel what I'm saying? If I know, yo, you're not disrupting my peace, bro. You're not disrupting my peace. You're not bringing the chaos. Like I already learned how to control the chaos. See, that passivism just lets the chaos run through, and it's just like, oh, everything's fucked up around me, and I'm just making the best of the situation. All right, that's your dumbass fault. But chaos, when you say, okay, look, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. I'm controlling this shit now. That's peace. That's peace. I tell people all the time, it's just like, yo, the problems don't stop. The negativity of life doesn't stop. But peace means that I control that shit. When it comes in wild and out, I tell it to sit the fuck down. Kind of like we do with our kids. But, but like not what we'll do with an enemy. That's not what we'll do with an enemy. We'll pray for them. We'll forgive them. We'll hug them in court. Oh, shit. We'll hug them in court under the guise that, I believe that you didn't, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. That's passive. That's passive. You feel me? That's passive. That's passive. That's some bullshit, bro. I don't even want to get on that because that's going to trigger me to get angry and shit. But you feel me? That's the shit we got to live with when it comes to this passive nature. You feel what I'm saying? We gotta accept the responsibility. Like that's why I'm big on like being objective, and I'm big on holding things accountable, because a lot of times we don't want to have that. We don't want to have that objective approach or that objective viewpoint to what it is that we're dealing with, because we want to put emotions in it. So it's like you gotta hold the shit accountable. We've followed ideologies that have made us passive, that continue to make us passive. You feel me? Like you can't always rely on supernatural forces to handle natural problems, but we do. You feel me? We do. We have yet to embody what it is that we're supposed to be embodying for the sake of our progress as people. You dig what I'm saying? And that's where the problem comes in. That right there is where the true problem comes in. Because how can we push our culture forward? How can we push our people forward? How can we move ourselves into under the guise of passivism? That leaves us in a state of codependency where we're always depending on a motherfucker to do for us. You feel me? Oh, I need you. I'm nothing without you. That's passivism. That's being passive. That's not being peaceful, bro. That's not being peaceful. If I see that my situation is fucked up, now that leads me to another point. This probably will segue into something that has to do with soul frail conversations. When it comes to masculinity, when it comes to protecting and providing, passivism has no viability in that. You cannot be a passive protector and provider. You just can't. You cannot be a passive warrior. You could very well be a peaceful motherfucker. Don't get me wrong. I'm using it by my own definition on how I explain it. Peace is what? The control of chaos. I've never met an unpeaceful warrior. You feel me? A man who's really protecting and providing, a man who's really operating in his masculine essence, you damn right he's going to control the chaos around him. You feel me? There's no passivism. There's no, I'm going to turn the other cheek. I can't. I don't have that luxury of turning a cheek. You feel me? So it's like when we're looking at our most masculine essences, our most masculine beings, the motherfuckers who are, they're the softest. They're like Charmin most times. Don't nobody move. Don't nobody do this. Don't nobody like we're going to pray. We're going to come together and shit like that. Like, are you praying with an A or are you praying with an E? And are they praying with the A or praying with the E? You feel me? Like, you feel me? They're really predators and we're just prey. And we're still praying. And don't even get that shit, how that shit's fucking you up on the esoteric level because you're asserting a certain word. Like, that's why when it comes to words, that's why they use a lot of synonyms. That's why they use a lot of antonyms and they use a lot of homonyms and shit that sounds the same, because it throws off your unconscious mind, because the vibration of the word, the vibration of the expression comes out. You're praying and you're being prayed on. You feel me? I'm gonna pray for you. Think about that shit. When people say I'm gonna pray for you, then your life starts going like, yo, that's why I've learned over the years, even when I was in the faith and everything, even stepping out, I don't accept prayers from anybody. Do not pray for me. Not because I don't know who you're praying to. I don't know which way you're praying on me or praying for me. You dig what I'm saying? I dealt with a woman who said that she prayed for me. She prayed for somebody like me and then ended up destroying my life. You feel what I'm saying? Now, granted, it's semantics and it's based off of, the expressions of the words. But the point that I'm making is that when we internalize that, we're praying for enemies and they're preying on us. And we have not caught the concept that, which way are they praying? Sometimes we always worry that I don't know who you're praying to, but which way are you praying? Which way are you praying? You feel me? And that promotes our passivism. That promotes our inactivity. That promotes the inability for us to see peace for what it really is. You feel me? Like I said, when in times of war, when they're done fighting, they sign peace treaties. As I said, a peace is the control of chaos. And a peace treaty is that we're coming to terms that the chaos that we have, that we are inflicting upon one another, wherever the case may be, we need to make it subside. It's time for that shit to stop. That's what a peace treaty is. Peace treaty is not a passive treaty. This is why if you violate the peace treaty, bitch, we coming back. If you violate the peace treaty, we're going to war again. If you step on this land, if you go here, you violate that peace treaty, we turning the fuck up. Hell, that's why we always looking for oil and shit now. You feel me? We sign the peace treaties and shit. And then if the peace treaty gets broken, if the treaty no longer stands, we fucking shit up. We're going to fuck shit up and we're going to go back to war. That's peace. That's peace. But we've been taught to practice passivism. You dig what I'm saying? We've been taught to practice passivism. And it's done nothing but made us motherfucking cowards. So this is why I say passivism is a misnomer for peaceful. So while we're actively talking about, we're going for peace, you're not looking for peace. You're looking to be passive. And you're following leaders who want you to be passive for the very motherfuckers that are inflicting your oppression. So you're not a threat to them anymore. You feel what I mean? And because if you're not a threat, then you don't change your circumstance. And you don't desire to have your circumstance change. You'll just beg a motherfucker to change your circumstances for you. God damn. And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes merch and get your merchandise right now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it on that one. Because I don't wanna come off as bashing. I don't want to come off as bashing because it can see like you're demeaning people. I'm demeaning people, and I'm speaking from a perspective in which I'm undermining their your perspective. You feel like you being peaceful. If you feel like peace is that's on you. That's what bags your groceries, by all means, paper and plastic. But we can't deny the reality that we're dealing with. You dig what I'm saying? We can't deny that reality that when it comes to what we deem as peace, it's passive. It's passivism. You feel me? This is not a shot. This is not a shot at, it's not a shot at anybody's individual belief system, but if your belief system doesn't teach you to respond to an enemy in a way in which you're supposed to respond to an enemy according to war, then like, what are you? You become a passive coward. You become a doormat under the guise of your belief system. Spirituality is about balance. You feel me? It's about positive and negative. It's about good and bad. It's about all of that shit. So peace fits within that realm. Real peace fits within that realm. If you fucking with my peace, I have to control that chaos. You dig what I mean? And we're not willing to do that. We're willing to be in a position where we can endure. I have the strength to endure. I can endure all the chaos that you're inflicting on me. That's stupid. That's stupid. That don't make no motherfucking sense, bro. That don't make any motherfucking sense. And then we talk about, yo, I need a warrior spirit. We need the warrior spirit. We can't have warrior spirits, bro. Not under that shit. You can't be a passive warrior. Like, what the fuck? Like, and it's like, this is in no means, shape, or form. No way, shape, or form am I trying to be funny. I'm just being like, you can't be, like, what is a prayer warrior? You dig what I'm saying? We look at people say, okay, this is a prayer warrior. I'm gonna pray for my enemies. I'm gonna pray for my enemies that are praying on me. You feel me? That shit's off. That reality makes no sense. That reality is not logical. You feel what I'm saying? You cannot be a warrior in that kind of mentality. You just can't. It don't fucking work. It never will work. You dig what I'm saying? But that's what we're conditioned to believe. I'm not passive. I'm the bigger person. I have the higher, like, the bigger motherfuckers seem to be the ones that keep dying. The bigger motherfuckers are the ones that keep getting beat the fuck up. Because they're the bigger ones. That's not the bigger person. That ain't the bigger person. I can't conceive how people can really rationalize that. You dig what I'm saying? I'm the bigger person because I'm allowing the smaller person to fuck me up. You know, from the outside looking in, you just see a big motherfucker getting beat the fuck up. Or a big motherfucker going through. But yet, that's another point. Because when we say, I'm going to be the bigger person in regards to my enemy, why the fuck can't you be the bigger person for your kid when you really, in reality, are the bigger person? Now, we are like, think about that shit. We're implanting within our children to be bigger than us. Be the bigger person over us. You feel me? You ever hear the dumbass conversation where they tell a child they know better and they didn't really teach them shit? Because children learn off of normalcy and habit. So a child really doesn't know better. They just know what they see and what they've seen and what they do see on a regular basis and what they can emulate. And so while you're telling them they know better, you're showing them they don't. But you're the bigger person. But you're telling, like, you see how stupid that is? This is my own personal belief and my own personal philosophy. But when it comes to this passive shit, you know, we need to change the narrative. I feel like if we're gonna embody pacifism, let's embody it and let's create it to where we're giving it to our children. You dig what I'm saying? We're being passive with our children. You know, and if we're gonna use rods of correction, let's use that shit on our enemy. Now I get it. You know, you don't want to violate your belief system. You don't want to violate whatever it is. So you're gonna continue to do the very shit that's causing your oppression. I'm not mad at that. Now, it seems like I'm being sarcastic, but not that's what it is. You're told to turn the cheek to your enemy. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Your child is new to this world, 4 or 5, 6 years old. They haven't even, like, you've experienced 20, 30 years old, and your child experienced 5 or 6, and you're going to tell them they should know better. You're going to give a motherfucker who's been on the earth longer than you or equal to you the very pass you can't give your child. Think about the logic in that shit. That shit don't make sense. You feel what I'm saying? It don't make sense. It's stupid. It's really stupid. You feel me? And to follow that is what causes us to remain in this oppressive state. In this state of confusion, delusion, and hysteria. You feel what I'm saying? Because we're going to be passive. And we're going to call ourselves being peaceful. But we're going to be passive. But then we're not going to do this. Like, I can't see how you can. I don't know. At this point, I'm just rambling, but I really and truly cannot see how you can be passive towards your enemy that you know wants to kill you, but want to be aggressive and, use the rod of correction on the child that you know does nothing but want to love you and be loved. Damn, we got our priorities fucked up and we really need to think about that. But I'm not going to go any further. So with that, I thank you for listening and taking the time to spend an hour with me. That I just like passivism is something that's always been on my mind because I never agreed with the concept. And I always wanted to express what I really mean when I tell people I'm peaceful, what I really mean when I acknowledge the affirmation, peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. That is one of the components, the control of chaos. You feel what I'm saying? The control of chaos. And I feel like as people, this is what we need to be able to control our chaos better. That's what's going to give us peace, and that's what's going to give us peace. And that's what's going to take us to the points and the planes of existence that we really need to be in. So with that being said, like I said, I'll see you all next week. Be sure to follow me on my social media. Instagram _just_scene_ the Just Scene podcast and Just Scene's merch. Also, if you're looking for a transition into the plant-based lifestyle, Hitting It Raw, the Hitting It Raw program, be sure to get my book, So Frail, A Reality to Black Male Masculinity, So Frail 2, Toxic Femininity, and Hitting It Raw, Living the Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. All of the links to the locations of everything are in the descriptions to your podcast. And lastly, if you would like to support the channel, by all means you can do so. I don't know why I keep saying channel. I'm used to YouTube. But if you would like to support the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description, and you can support the podcast so that way we can expand and grow if you enjoy what you hear, and we can keep the content coming for however long we're going to be rocking with it to come. So with that being said, I wish everybody, life, love, happiness, and, no more passivism, my guys. It's time to control the chaos that is within us, the chaos that is around us on a regular basis, and make sure that we don't have to be passive. So with that being said, I'll see you on the next episode. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and enjoy the rest of your day, your time, and go kiss your babies and stop using a rod on them.